Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Eros in Sagittarius in a natal chart. Now, Eros in astrology can be connected with what we may have a very powerful sexual attraction to, and something we may be strongly desirous of on a sexual, might be a very nearly unconquerable sexual attraction. And the thing about it is, given that we're talking about Sagittarius, you may be somebody that has a very powerful sexual attraction, to say the least, to somebody that's very expansive, enthusiastic, has a lot of exuberance, has a very strong zest for life. A person that is really very philosophical, even visionary, and you may have this unconquerable, nearly untamable, lack of a better word, sexual desire for somebody also that's very forthright, that speaks the veritable truth, so to speak, that incorrigible optimist, a person that really tries to always be positive even in the most adverse of situations and circumstances, a person that might have a strong love for adventure and exploration expeditions, and also a person that's just generally very happy, may have the what me worry type philosophy or outlook, a person that might be very jocular and jovial. So, and it could also be a person that might be very fond of the outdoors, and somebody that might be very sports oriented. So, and may be fond or enamored with foreign travel. Now, since we're talking, I mean, this could be, now this person that you may have this near unconquerable sexual attraction to, and maybe somebody that might actually be a Sagittarius sun, moon, or ascendant person, or it may simply be somebody that embodies a Sagittarius characteristics. Now, let's say if this is like conjunct the persons, you have Eros in Sagittarius and it's conjunct the other person's ascendant in synastry. This could be somebody who may have a very powerful physical connection with it, may reinforce and reaffirm a very physical connection where you're very strongly sexually attracted to the physical appearance of the person with the Sagittarius rising. Sometimes it could be a very athletic build. It could be, somebody just with a long, kind of long, thin, handsome, attractive look, broad forehead. Those just generally the Sagittarius type of look, and even Sagittarius rising often has full teeth, and that could be something where you still might find a connection or a physical attraction to. Now, if it's the moon, it could be more on an unconscious or subconscious level, and if it's the sun, it may be tied in. You might feel a strong physical, not as much as a physical attraction as if it were the ascendant, but to some degree, because the sun can be connected with the physical body, but even though the ascendant is what dominates the appearance in astrology, and it may be the basic character you may be strongly drawn to. So, anyway, now the thing about this is looking at this as well. Now, the Eros in astrology can also be connected with who you may be. I mean, this is very extreme type of energy. It could be somebody who might be strongly, the energy could reflect the kind of person that you may be strongly infatuated or enamored with, but it could also be somebody that you might be strongly turned off or rebuffed by, and you might flat out repudiate and reject. Now, given that we're talking about Sagittarius energy, it might be someone that might be overly self-righteous or even over-optimistic. If you're more connected with this energy, it's more where you might be admiring more the positive, expansive energy. But if you're somebody that, like, say, for example, like if you have, like, your sun, moon, or ascendant are in, Virgo, or it may be in Pisces even. You may be somebody that might see Sagittarius as a little bit over a little bit over optimistic. And Virgo, of course, is about really being they could not just frugal, but they're very exceptionally cautious, and they have very worrisome energy. So you could understand where you might have some conflict to some degree in this. It doesn't mean you wouldn't necessarily have that powerful sexual connection with this person or attraction to them, but you may be incompatible on other levels. Now, and again, going back to the qualities you might be strongly rebuffed or turned off by, also it could be some foolhardy energy or tactless energy. Maybe the person may be too much of an outdoorsman, so to speak, or somebody that's outside too much. Pisces really would rather is more about isolation and likes to be even reclusive and kind of drifts into their own fantasy world. So, like I say, if your sun, moon, or sun is in Pisces, you might have incompatibility for that reason. Now, also, too, it might be somebody that might be just too lighthearted or overly or overly reckless or too much about the law. And when I say too much about the law, a lot of this is just speaking the veritable truth and being completely honest and veracious to the point where it may possibly demoralize or really embarrass another person. Now, the thing about this too is that Eros in astrology can also be associated with one's creative energy and ability. Now, given that you're talking about Sagittarius energy, this might be one that may exhibit or express a lot of creative energy and ability, perhaps in sports, doing something with the outdoors, or even through publishing in some cases. It matters something with horses, like let's say if you have this in the 12th house, or you have like a sextile or trine in Neptune, or even a conjunction to Neptune, you may be doing something like having like a photo montage like on YouTube, like with various horses as an example. It could be also, too, a person might show some creative energy and ability in matters with religion or the law. Well, you probably say, well, Eddie, how would the law factor in? Well, I mean, let's say if you have this in the 5th house of games, for example, or it could be somebody that might design a game that's associated with law, like a game like the Law and Order game, or something like that. I mean, something that could be using something with the law that you would employ creative ability and incorporate creative ability with. So, or something with gambling, or even translation. I mean, Sagittarius can be associated with foreign countries and foreign languages. I saw something one day. I think someone told me it was like on The Simpsons or something, that somebody would talk in a or some show. They would talk into they would speak in one language, and they would have this electronic device, and it would come out like in English when they'd be it would display the English words, whatever they were saying. I don't know if they actually have that, but that's like an example of what I'm talking about. Or even some creative energy in target practice or playing darts. I mean, Sagittarius energy is about being on target, so to speak. And anyway, now, Eros in astrology can also be associated with what one may have a very powerful exuberance, enthusiasm, and even a strong passion for. Since we're talking about Sagittarius energy, it could be somebody that's got a very powerful exuberance and enthusiasm, even passion for sports, for the outdoors, for religion. It could be a person more, as far as more specific sports goes, like archery or something with darts or lawn darts. It could be somebody that maybe have a very strong exuberance and enthusiasm for horses. Even it could be horseback riding. It could be somebody, like, say if you have this like in one of the money houses, what I say, money career houses, the 2nd, 6th, or 10th house in your natal chart, this energy may be applied in one's career or livelihood or work that they may do. And also, this is a person that just has a lot of power, could have a lot of powerful exuberance and enthusiasm for simply expanding horizons, for not staying inside the box, so to speak, for having the ability to go outside the box. And also matters with law, foreign travel, traveling abroad, even preaching in some cases, especially if you've got other elements in your chart that could reaffirm and confer this energy. If you have a very dominant Sagittarius element in your chart, and or 9th house or Jupiter really is prominent, or dominance somehow, something like that. It could be also a very strong exuberance for darts or target practicing, even hunting in some cases, exploration, expeditions. So anyway, I want to give an example. I mean, let's say through an aspect, let's say that you have Eros in Sagittarius in your natal chart and it makes an adverse aspect to your natal sun. Well, in some cases, this may manifest in perhaps having a conflict with this energy that you have, like Eros and Sagittarius, the things that you might express a very powerful exuberance and enthusiasm for, and it may conflict with what you may focus on. I mean, Eros and Sagittarius might have a very strong enthusiasm for things of a philosophical nature, about seeing things, projecting things that may be in the future, and through philosophy or through the metaphysical, through something that maybe we don't have, and things that we don't necessarily have all the evidence of. But let's say your sun is in Gemini and it makes an opposition to it. Sun in Gemini could be more of a focus on the concrete, on the facts, things that are a little bit more tangible, things that they could see right in front of them and evaluate through factual information. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.